My man, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you too. How you been?
I've been fantastic, actually.
Yeah?
Really good. Busy and excited about this.
Yes.
Are you going to miss this?
Yeah.
You are?
The people specifically is the sadness of it all. Even watching the film, it's like, oh, these people, this experience in this time, never gonna happen again.
So, and I thought about this with you in mind as I wrote the next question. 10 or 15 years from now, how are you going to look back at this whole experience?
I don't know. Get me a time machine and figure that out. But hopefully he's in a good way. You know, hopefully I'm still about. We know how life goes. But, you know, hopefully it's in a good way. And I feel like I'm going to cringe a little bit because I cringe at moments of Force Awakens now because I'm older and I can see the youngness and the vulnerability in myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, and we all do. It's just natural. So there'll be a little bit of that. But, you know, I think I'm still going to have fun with those, you know.
And I'm doing this because that's where you and I met, actually.
Yeah.
And I need to go back and watch those interviews and see what we were like.
I know. And it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see that transition, you know. Back then I had, you know, a bunch of PR people saying, you know, you have to speak this way and, you know, dress in this way. It's so strict. Now
You're
just...
being you.
Well.
And that's what we love about it. No, and that's what
happens. You know, you're in an
PR
environment.
people are looking at it, like, yeah, that's
the camera's there. You're in an environment, and you're like, you know, super young. Me and Daisy, super fresh to it all. It's like, you know, there's kind of like this kind of ultimate, you know, perfect kind of thing going on. Now it's with the vets.
I'm glad that I have you in a comfortable zone.
Yeah, man.
Because for my next question, here we go. Nobody's going to get you in trouble for this one, okay? Mm-hmm. Did you get to keep anything?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
Officially.
Yes.
Kathy Kennedy sent me some stuff. I get my thin rifle, parts of my costume. You know, a few bits and bobs on set that I have to take myself. But I'm sure they were greenlit anyway. But, you know, I got quite a lot of stuff on this one.
Billy D. Williams just told me that George Lucas gave him a Yoda thing. Little piece from the earlier films.
Oh, like a mini...
Yeah, I guess.
Mini figure or something.
Yeah, and he even did the same reaction you did. He goes, I wonder why you gave me that.
Yeah.
But he has it and he loves it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I would like a life-size, maybe puppet of Baby Yoda. That would be good.
You're the first one that's brought it up today.
Oh, yeah?
So are you your team Baby Yoda? I have to ask.
I think he's cute.
Yeah.
He's cute, yeah.
Well, I am too. I'm on that side as well of the argument. Okay, the most challenging thing about playing Finn has been what?
The physical stuff, the new stuff to learn, running in the desert in full leather, it's not the way to do it. You know, with high boots and guns and in the desert in Jordan, that makes it hard. It's the physical. And every time we come back after some time spent away, we always have to go to this, like, the stunt coordinator has to get a view of how our health and fitness is. And that part has always been quite the challenge, you know, going back on a treadmill. For Finn and having to, you know, have these big weapons, riding horses, shooting, consistently running, shouting. It's just a lot of physical work.
My friend, I'll see you on premiere night. And you'll get to see me wearing my one suit.
Don't wear a suit, man.
Yeah, it's
it ain't
Star
you,
Wars.
Man.
You gotta pay homage.
Just one tie, like a Darth Vader
Really?
tie.
Jeans? It'll be a Star Wars tie.
There could be some people up there in jeans.
You just
You
gave
don't
me
feel bad about
permission.
it. It's kind of jeans, man.
At that point, I'll just wear shorts now.
Yeah.
It's great to see you, and it is really cool to meet you.
Weird, isn't it? Not in the gold suit for once.
Wow, I'm freaking out. This is everybody outside the room that we're interviewing today is talking about how cool it is to see you, and you as well. But
And you, of course, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but
He's
it's
the
just
real deal.
this is surreal for me. When did you realize how big this movie? I'm going back to the earlier films. When did it? Was there a fan experience?
No, it was seeing in a newsagent's store, Time or Newsweek. It was the cover, and it was all about Star Wars. I hadn't seen it. Nobody told me anything about it. It opened in America, wham! And I was too poor to actually buy the magazine at that time. I didn't spend money on stuff like that, so I just read the cover inside, and put it back.
Wow,
Isn't that weird?
that's weird. When is the first time you?
That in your book?
Yes,
That is a great
I wrote a
memory.
book. Thank you for that.
Let's talk about that.
I am C-3PO, the inside story, forward by J.J. Abrams. I adore him. And I talk about, Joonas is in the book.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
And you'll laugh when I tell you, when you see which bit it is. I wrote my memoirs about my life around Star Wars in all the 11 movies. It's available from all good bookshops.
I'm glad we brought that up.
Yeah.
So when's the first time you both met?
Episode 7.
Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
We met in the Millennium Falcon. One of the first days of Force Awakens. Yeah.
And what was it like to meet a legend?
It was great.
Did you geek out like I did when I walked in? I went, oh my gosh.
Well, I don't really. I try to not to geek out. I don't know what it is about me, but I'm excited. I'm excited. I was excited to meet Anthony because I knew his work and I knew I was coming into this family who's been together for a long time, and I went and said hello and said the usual. Then I'm a big fan, which is genuine in this case.
Yeah.
Is it emotional the day that you wrapped?
Yes. Yeah, really.
What's going through your mind?
Trying not to cry, frankly, because there was such a feeling of love all through the movie, but on that last day for me. And curiously, I had come off a set where 3PO had no lines. In that last scene that I shot, I didn't say anything. And I'm in the suit thinking, this is really weird that after all this time, 3PO, the kind of chatterbox, is just part of watching what's going on. Then I came off the set and people were being very nice and warm, and I hung on there. But I wasn't saying goodbye to 3PO.
I didn't ask you this the last interview, so I'm going to bring it up. Most challenging part about playing Chewie, and I'm going to ask you the same thing.
Right. For me, it's consistency. Bringing the essence of Chewbacca every shot, every take. That is the most, because usually I'm in the background of shots because I couldn't be brought to the foreground in order to not diminish the other actors. So I'm put in the background, and if we take 25 takes, I need to do 25 consistent Chewbacca moves. And if I do just one wrong, then you might see it on screen.
Biggest challenge of playing C-3PO?
Well, it's everything, isn't it? It's being unable to basically see with peripheral vision or whatever. I have to know where everything is before we start, where if I'm going to pick something up, where's the actor standing, what's on the floor. Probably the biggest challenge is the floor, which I have hit several times, obviously, and still survived.
Exactly.
It's great to see you again, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Congratulations on everything.
Oh, thank you.
Last time you yelled cut on this, what's going through your mind?
The last time? Well, the last time was, because we did some reshoots, and I think the last time I yelled cut, I think the first thing I said after was, okay, what's next? Because it just on a movie like this, you feel like you're constantly in some version of production, even when you're doing the visual effects stuff, in post for months and months and months, you're still composing shots. So it never really feels like it's over. But I'd like to say it was relief, but the truth is, when you say cut, it's just the beginning of all this other stuff that you have to do. So it never really felt like there was a moment of it's in the rear view, even still.
Something I didn't ask you last time we spoke. The first time you ever met George Lucas, what was that like?
First time I ever met him, I was at this conference, and I was prepping Star Trek. I was going to direct a Star Trek movie, and I went up to him and had a conversation with him and asked him what I should do and what would you do if you were doing Star Trek. I just wanted to get the most broad advice, and I said, "What would you do?" If you're doing Star Trek, I said, what should I do doing Star Trek? And his advice to me was put lightsabers in it.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I think then he walked away from me.
He did. Carrie Fisher came to Houston, Texas, and I got to spend a day with her. It was amazing. How emotional was it for you to include her? You have to include her in this, but as you're putting those scenes together, how emotional was it?
It was really emotional. I mean, I get emotional even just talking about it a bit because she was a friend. I knew her for a little bit for a long time before we did Force Awakens. Working with her obviously was, an experience I'll never forget. She was absolutely one of a kind. She could not have been. She was as witty and brilliant and funny as you would expect. I just loved her, and so obviously losing her was hard for all of us, and I wasn't supposed to do this movie, so it was not like a practical matter. I just was missing her as a human being. And then when I was asked to come back to do this, to do Rise of Skywalker, I just suddenly realized, well, we can't tell this without Kerri. We can't tell this without Leia. That's impossible. And we went back and looked at the footage that we had shot that we hadn't used for Force Awakens and realized that we had a number of scenes that we could repurpose. And so we wrote entire scenes around Kerri, around the footage we had. And, you know, if she had still been around, of course, I'm sure we would have done other things too. But we had what we needed to tell the story that we wanted to. And, you know, it was an incredible thing to get to have scenes with Leia, using the side of the scene that we had shot with her from 3-4 years earlier. It was just a very surreal thing, and because in editorial she's been alive for nearly a year, you know, working as, you know, on these scenes, it's even more heartbreaking that she's not here.
Good to see you again, and it's great to meet you.
To meet you.
How exciting! There's like a buzz in the air when you talk about Star Wars, but then again, there's a little bit of a sad element. So I know that we've talked before. Welcome to the franchise.
Thank you very much.
What is it like to get the call that you're going to be in a Star Wars movie? We'll start with you.
Awesome. I mean, is there a bad version of that? No, it's only awesome.
Do you remember that day? Like, what did you scream? Who did you tell first?
Probably whoever was standing next to me. I'm gonna be, no, I'm just kidding. No, because you have to be kind of secretive. I think I told Matthew, my guy.
Awesome. Oscar, same question for you, because I didn't get to ask you that last time. What is it like to find out, to get that call that you're a part of this now?
Well, it didn't happen like that. I didn't get a call to be a part of it. I got a call to come meet JJ originally for Force Awakens.
Right.
And to talk about it. So that call was, you know, exciting and mysterious because I didn't know what exactly. I figured it was for Star Wars, but I wasn't sure for what role or what I was going to do. So that was an interesting kind of roller coaster because I got there and met on it and I was told what the character was, but it's just to set up the beginning and then he dies. And, you know, so there was a little bit of a disappointment there as well. I was like, oh, okay, all right, okay. And then that changed and evolved and then I had to come out and audition for it. And then, you know, JJ basically told me right after cut when we were doing the screen test, he's like, I mean, you've got the part, you know. It was like a formality that I had to kind of go through, so that was very funny.
Amazing.
Yeah, but yeah, so it was a process to kind of feel like, oh my God, all right, here I'm here, here we go, and to think that we're now at the end after all 3 movies, because at the time it was such an abstract idea that we're going to tell 3 movies, this whole new chapter of the Skywalker saga, felt so distant, and to now kind of be on, you know, make it to the top of the mountain and look back and be like, holy shit, we're here.
Well, our last interview actually is the reason I asked that question, because I was kind of, it's, you know, I like an obituary kind of thing. As you're looking back at all of this, and last time you and I talked, you know, I was like, we didn't discuss the whole how it started with you. So thank you for that story. That being said, what is it like the last day of filming when you all wrapped? How emotional was it?
Well, that's for you to answer. It's been their journey. I came along for the end.
Right. But still, I mean, you wrapped.
Just as well, yeah, because also I wrapped and right after I did, Anthony Daniels did. You know, and so I felt exactly the same way.
Spoilers.
I'm in these 3. Yeah. Well, he also wrapped the movie as well.
Okay,
right?
yeah, right. Oh, I see what you're saying.
All the actors wrapped the movie at the end of Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker, including Anthony Daniels, and so when he finished as well, just you know, getting to watch him say goodbye to 9 movies, you know, that was very emotional.
I just heard off camera that you're coming to visit my city.
Yes. Yeah. Like, where should we eat?
Let me tell you that it's funny that you say that, because I was just about to give you the spiel. You have to have Tex-Mex.
Okay.
What is that?
It's Mexican food, Texas style. And you need to go down to a street called Navigation. It's the hood, but you tell them, you know, Dave Morales, and you'll be okay. Ninfa's is a place. But across the street, there's a place called Merida that I used to go to as a kid. And barbecue.
Cool.
Listen, because I used to watch that thing. I said that so loud, sometimes I can get loud, I apologize.
No, I love hearing this.
I went to that. Did you ever watch Man vs. Food?
Yeah.
And he did like some barbecue place in Texas, and my mouth was watering genuinely throughout the whole thing. And like,
He went to Franklin's in Austin. In Houston, we have, and he's a good friend of mine, Killen's Barbecue. Hey, Ronnie Killen. And Ronnie Killen's the owner, and you have to go there.
You'll see us at the premiere so fat.
Dude,
from
yeah,
everything. We'll be like, what up?
Listen, I'm like doing a thing right now. I've got to fit into my dress.
You're good. I will be there. I'm taking my mom. That's her Christmas present, by the way. So I'll see you.
sweet.
Act like y'all know me when you see me. Just
Dave
go, hey,
Morales.
Dave, come on. We just had barbecue at Killen's. What is it like to be a part of this now?
It's out of this world. It's out of this world, and it's taking me still a while to slot all the things in the right places because it can be quite overwhelming. But I'm so grateful for the journey, more so than even the final product. I'm so happy that I got to be a part of this and work with amazing people and begin this part of my journey.
And so that's my next question is for you. So coming back to it now, it has to bring back great memories and just a lot of fun. I remember our last interview. Then I see you on screen. I'm like, yeah, that's my girl. But it's got to be just like nothing else before, or like nothing else. You know, it's got to be that it factor. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's really no way to explain this experience. There's so many things you're feeling consistently and constantly all the time.
Yeah,
but yeah, like Nay said, I think it's really just remembering that it has been an honor to be a part of something so big and something that so many people love. So. Yeah.
So I have to end with this. We're both of you, since we did our food critic segment already. And I didn't ask you this last time. I want to know your first Star Wars memory growing up.
Oh.
Was it a movie? Was it a lunchbox? Was it?
My first Star Wars movie growing up was I took this history class and my teacher, I don't know why he wasn't teaching at the end of the year, but he wasn't. So we would just watch Star Wars all the time. That's my first memory.
Wow, that's a good one. Yeah. So what subject was it? I don't know. Math.
Yeah, I know.
Wasn't too important. For you, what was your first Star Wars memory growing up?
First Star Wars memory is probably like my cousin used to have Star Wars pajamas. That we're so close, like brother and sister. Hey, Chatty. Yo. And he had a lightsaber, like one of those, like, and like it lights up on the inside, and I used to play with that a lot in his bedroom. That's my first Star Wars.
I love that we talked food. I love that we did shout outs.
Yes.
And we talked about
you
skipping
tried
school
your
for
mom,
Star Wars. No, technically you were there, but you were watching Star Wars.
True.
Best class ever.
Literally.
I'll see you all at the premiere.
See you
And I'll watch your food reviews.
Listen, we got to do some Tex-Mex.
We'll let you know.
I'm so serious about it.
I'm into it.
With the barbecue.
Yeah, we'll figure it
One
out.
or
We'll
the
figure
other,
it out. We'll have an itinerary of food places to go to.
It's great to meet you.
Houston, that's where my father was from.
Houston, Texas?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Wow. Did you spend any time there? I mean, did you get to hang out?
Well, I've been to Houston.
Right.
I still have family there. I don't know who they are, but but I have family there.
Well, if they're watching us this morning.
And I buried my father just outside of Houston. I forget the name of the place.
Well, we'd love to have you back if you'd love to. I'll take you to.
It's too hot and humid.
Well, not right now. I tell everybody for 4 hours out of the year, it's really nice. We'd love to have you. We will take you to some Tex-Mex and barbecue down there, sir.
Oh, okay.
You'd love it. I want to go back to the original films, the earlier films. When did you realize how big these movies were?
Well, I knew because George Lucas was involved. I knew that, and particularly at that time when you had all those major filmmakers, young filmmakers who were sort of changing the face of cinema, like Spielberg and Scorsese and all of those young, and Coppola. I knew that, and I was a big fan of George's movies. I knew that I was going to be a part of something very special. So
Special it was. It is. It still is to this
absolutely.
day. Do you remember the audition for Lando?
I never auditioned for Lando.
Really?
No, I was asked to play Lando.
That's even cooler.
Yeah.
Did George reach out to you directly and say, I have this role in mind?
Well, George, but I had Irv Kirshner directed Empire Strikes Back, And he came to my house, and we sat and talked about Eastern philosophy and things of that nature, because he was into Buddhism. And so we had a great rapport, and that's how
That's how it started.
You know,
Did you
pretty
get
much got
to
the job?
Did you get to keep anything from any of the original sets or anything like a souvenir? I promise I won't tell on you, even though people are watching this right now. But did you get to keep like a little item, maybe from one of the movies?
Well, I got lots of little things that I've kept over the years, but I also got an Ewok head that I asked George to give me, and he gave it to me,
That's so cool.
which surprised the hell out of me.
How many times a day do people come up to you and call you Lando?
Well, I get it for the last 40 years. I get it all the time.
Well, I'm
It's
gonna
ongoing.
I'm gonna add one more to that. So it's great to meet you, Lando. And now that we're saying goodbye to this particular era, is it sad? Is it emotional? What are you feeling?
No, listen, it's just been a wonderful journey, and I'm quite grateful.
Awesome. And I meant what I said about coming to Houston, Texas. We would love to have you down there.
Okay, fantastic.
Is that a deal?
That's the deal.